Good morning, everyone. I wanted to start off by saying that I am so very proud of the men and women of the Kissimmee Police Department, both sworn and civilian staff, having come through the adversity that we experienced last night and come together as a family and to continue our efforts to bring an individual to justice for what I consider the most heinous crime possible. I'd also like to recognize our Central Florida partners, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, the Orlando Police Department, St. Cloud Police Department, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the FBI. Everyone came to the scene without being asked and poured their resources into this investigation. You see, we don't get to stop for a minute and cry for somebody that we've lost or mourn a hero at the time that we're going through it. The men and women of law enforcement are required to continue working and bring this individual to justice. I am excited to tell you that we have charged Everett Glenn Miller, 10-5 of 71, with first-degree murder. I would like to clear up a few facts from our previous news conference. Officer Baxter checked out with 3 subjects last night, not 4. Mr. Miller was one of the 3 that he had originally checked out with. There may have been some type of a scuffle that ensued, ultimately ending in the shooting, taking Officer Baxter's life, and at this moment, Sergeant Howard is still in grave critical condition at the hospital. At approximately 11:30 p.m., Osceola County Sheriff's detectives located the suspect at Roscoe's Barn Package at 2344 North Orange Blossom Trail in Kissimmee. We had a small snippet of video that placed the suspect at the scene at the time of the stop. Based on the description received from that, they were able to identify the suspect. Upon approaching or confronting Mr. Miller, he reached towards his waistband. Extremely brave and heroic actions by the deputy. There were other people in the vicinity. They went hands-on, tackled him to the ground, and secured him, located a 9mm handgun and a .22 revolver on his person. Those guns have been seized for further investigation. At this time, no other arrests are anticipated. This is the information on Mr. Miller. He will be transported to the Osceola County Jail shortly, and he will be wearing Officer Matthew Baxter's handcuffs. We have these are our 2 officers. Officer Matthew Baxter has been with the Kissimmee Police Department for 3 years. He was 27 years old. He was married to a Kissimmee police officer and has 4 children. Sergeant Sam Howard has been with the Kissimmee Police Department for 10 years. He's 36 years old. He is married and he has 1 child. And I'll be happy to take a few questions at this time.
Are the other 2 suspects being charged or pending charges?
There are no other charges anticipated at this time.
So you believe this was just one person that did the shooting?
With the information we have, yes, sir.
Chief Dan Billow from Channel 2. Are you able to draw more of a picture of what happened when the officers arrived and kind of blow-by-blow type thing? Can you fill in any of those details?
We are not more than what I've given at this point. We're trying not to speculate. We're still searching video and attempting to locate witnesses. We have some additional witnesses identified that we're in the process of trying to contact now so that we can make sure that we have as complete a description of what happened as we possibly can. Yes, ma'am.
Box 13, it says premeditated murder. Was this an ambush?
It doesn't appear at this time. That was a thought earlier this evening based on the information we had. We thought originally contacted three subjects, and the suspect came afterwards. It appears now we have information now that Mr. Miller was one of the original suspects contacted.
Can you elaborate on the scuffle that took place?
I can't at this time, no.
Can you elaborate where exactly the shooting happened, what location?
It was right near the intersection of Palmway and Cypress.
Do you have more information regarding the suspect if he has a criminal record?
I don't have that. We didn't get it at this time. I think it is minimal. I'm aware of he was a Marine veteran, and I know he was recently Baker acted by the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, but I don't have the information or details on that. Yes, sir.
Jason Hackett with WPTV out of West Palm Beach. Any updates on Sergeant Howard? Has his condition gotten any better, any worse?
No, sir. It's still the same, grave, and not much hope that he will survive this.
Chief,
Yes.
now that you have an arrest made, are you guys now having an opportunity to mourn and the loss of one of your fellow officers?
We will, over the coming days, try to, speak to as many of the officers last night that were still at the station, not actively pursuing the investigation, but kind of decompressing. We did a short critical incident debrief, kind of gave them some things to look for. Mostly told as many that I could that we will get through this. It will not defeat us, and that I loved them for what they do.
Ian Margot with Local 10 out of Miami. You said last night they were initially responding to a suspicious person's call. Can you give any more details about that, about what the initial call was and sort of what happened?
I think this is an area of focus for our patrol officers, and Officer Baxter was just in the area as part of our ongoing presence.
Chief, have you seen the memorial outside for the officers, and do you have anything to say back to the community that's been coming out a lot this morning?
I haven't gone out there to inspect it, but from my office I was able to. Yes, I appreciate we have had so much support from across the nation. One of our local imams is in the United Kingdom right now and sent me a message. We sincerely appreciate our community, and this is not a reflection of the city of Kissimmee community. We've got, an individual here that, committed the heinous crime, but this is certainly not a reflection of the wonderful people that we have in our community. Yes, ma'am.
Chief, what can you tell us about these officers? We know there were 3 and 10 years back.
They're two wonderful men, family men. They are two that are committed to doing it the right way. Obviously, they were in an area known for drug sales, so they were taking enforcement action, being proactive. But they're both very committed to the community. They've been part of a number of our community initiatives. I had a recent tweet highlighting Officer Baxter and kind of making some Children's Day, making a difference, giving them Slurpee coupons. So they were the epitome of what you ask for in law enforcement officers. Yes, ma'am?
Were they partners?
No, ma'am, they were not. Sergeant Howard is the supervisor, and Officer Baxter is a member of his squad.
So they weren't riding together?
No, ma'am.
The 2 guns you located, one was the murder weapon?
We have to investigate that.
Can you say how many shots were fired, or how many times they were shot, or where they were hit?
Not at this time, I'm sorry.
Were they able to fire back?
It doesn't appear so, no. Yes,
Hi,
ma'am?
this is Bones on the State Street Action News. Can you talk a little bit about how bad this Friday was across the nation for law enforcement here in the state of Florida and Pennsylvania, kind of the hardships that officers face nowadays?
And, I've thought about our incident, and then as the news came in across the country, I don't really have any other adjective other than, devastating to law enforcement and heartbreaking. I mean, it's at some point, we've got to come together as a nation. We've got to get our community involved, and these folks that are involved in a lot of these crimes, there's a number. We're still doing the investigation, but there are Facebook posts and and I'm sure comments to friends of this Mr. Miller threatening law enforcement, and we never got a call on that. So it's we're out there every day, but there are folks in the community that know who these people are and know some of their intentions before they even take action. And at some point we have to come together, work together to rid our communities of these type of individuals.
Chief, was your officers wearing body cameras?
They were not. We are this week and in the next couple of weeks just starting our body-worn camera program. So we have some officers that have already got their uniforms. Unfortunately, theirs had not come in yet.
And we don't have, you said he had a small prior criminal history in the system?
From what I understand, I have not seen it, but what I was made to understand that there was not an extensive criminal history with this person.
And were there witnesses that also saw the shooting?
And yes, and we're trying to identify all those and contact all those.
Chief, the President of the United States sent out a tweet attributing your department last night. Has he called you? Have you heard directly from the White House about
I
this?
have not. I'm not sure he has my number, but I did hear from Governor Scott and also our Attorney General Pam Bondi, as well as law enforcement throughout Florida. So, yes, sir.
Corey Clark with Fox 13 in Tampa. You said that it doesn't appear that they returned fire. Did either of them even deholster their weapon, or was this sudden?
No, sir. Yeah, neither weapon was removed from their holster.
Did Officer Baxter make initial contact and then Sergeant Howard come as sort of backup?
That's what it appears to be at this point, yes, that Officer Baxter initially was out with the subjects, and Sergeant Howard then came at some point afterwards as a backup.
Chief, can you elaborate where you got the video of the suspect that led you to that, other location?
Not at this time, I'm sorry.
Chief, can you just explain how quickly this all unfolded?
The incident, we are still putting together the timeline and talking to witnesses, but it seems a very short time from when the sergeant was on scene, so it wasn't too long of a period before we started receiving 911 calls. But we are still trying to piece that together.
Chief, how long after that did you take him into custody?
He was at 11, right around 11:30 p.m. Was taken into custody by the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. Matched the description of what we had in the video, and then our detectives got to work and throughout the night, morning, put the case together, developed a probable cause to make the arrest.
Did you say that was at that bar, Roscoe's, where he was arrested, or he was arrested someplace else?
He was arrested there because he had concealed weapons in a bar. So that was the initial charge. He matched the description, and then we continued the investigation.
And so was he like in the bar having drinks and kind of?
That I'm not
socializing
sure
with
of.
friends, or-
I'm not sure of at this point.
Chief, who called 911?
I don't have that information. We would have it at some point through the investigation, but I'm assuming somebody close by in the community.
I'll take two more questions. Will the suspect go before, have his first appearance tomorrow? Is that the plan? The idea of he's getting in booked to the jail?
I'll be honest, I don't know. He will be going to jail if he's not already on the way right this minute, but I am not sure when first appearance will be.
Are you planning to release the 911 calls on both situations, the original situation and when he was found at the bar?
I don't know that there was a 911 call associated with the bar. At some point when it's prudent, yes, we would obviously release those. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.